Hi! I'm so happy you guys are here. I'm so happy you clicked on this video. As you can see by the title, today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a few tips on how I was able to deepen my relationship with God. And this is by no means me saying that these tips are the only way that you can deepen your relationship with God, or that I'm super well versed on this topic or anything like that. But these are just a few things that I've definitely noticed made an impact on my life within the past few months and really just shifted my entire relationship with God by just implementing these tips on my day-to-day life. So I really hope that you guys feel encouraged by this video to continue your walk with God, feel like you can do it and it doesn't feel like some really hard, distant thing that you can't do. Yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, let's just get into the video. So the tips that I'm going to be giving you guys are probably things that you haven't heard before, and they are seriously a game changer and have definitely made the biggest impact on my walk with God. And the first tip that I want to share with you guys is just vulnerability with God and having a relationship with Him where you feel like you can share with Him everything that's on your heart and on your mind. I know that sounds kind of easy to think about, but it really wasn't until I was open with God about everything that I was struggling with, not just the surface level things, but when I really let Him into the deepest parts of my heart that I was struggling with the most, that I was able to really feel Him in every aspect of my life. I really just want to share with you guys a verse that kind of resonated with me when thinking about this tip, and it's Matthew chapter 11 verse 28, and it says, "Come to me all who are weary and burdened, for I will give you rest." I really want you guys to experience what it's like to have a relationship with God in its truest form, just by having vulnerability with Him. And this is really just the foundation of all the tips that I'm going to be sharing. If you don't have vulnerability with Him, there is no way for you to truly experience who our God is. You can walk with God and you could pray and you could fast and you can attend church services, but really you're not going to be able to feel His presence, experience His presence. And there's just so much to say about the breakthrough that comes through opening up your heart to God. There's so much transformation that comes through opening up your heart to God. Inside and out. And God meets us in the reality of where we are now, not where we want to be, where we feel like we should be, not in the hidden places where we're too scared to show our true colors because we feel like God might judge us or condemn us. That's not true at all, and that's actually what the enemy wants you to believe about our God. I think there's just so much freedom that comes with sharing everything that you are going through, sharing everything that you want, everything that you desire with our God, because He is a God that is faithful. He's a God that shows up when you least expect Him. I can think back to where I went wrong with my walk with God. You know, I was praying for things that were surface level, praying for things that I was scared to give up to Him because I thought I had control over my life and I thought that I could handle all the things that I was struggling with. But it wasn't until I really shared with Him all of the things that I was scared to even say out loud, until I surrendered all of my burdens to Him, that I was really able to experience the goodness of God. So my next tip is for all of our fellow control freaks, myself included. All of the people who feel like they're in control of their lives, or all of the people who feel like our God is so sovereign that they have no control over their lives. So my next tip is to have a mindset where you are actively participating in every move that God makes. I know that sounds kind of weird to think about, like actively participating in every move that God makes. Like, what does that mean? It really just means that you are teetering between having all of the control over your life and having no control over your life. Being too active and being too passive. There's a lot to say about opening your hands out and having Him guide you through every part of your life versus you saying, "No, God, I'm gonna do everything that I want to do. I'm gonna make it happen myself. I'm gonna bring the success, the relationship, the house, the job myself," versus you being the type of person that is way too hands-off and you feel like God is so sovereign, He's gonna do it anyways. Why do I need to pray about it? Why do I need to even have any wants and desires? Because God is basically doing everything He already wants to do. This is something that I'm still struggling with and still actively needing grace for every single day, because I am definitely that person that wants to control every aspect of my life. It's really hard to think about our God being the type of God that works on his timing and not ours. So naturally, our flesh wants to make things happen for ourselves. We live in a society where if you want something, you go after it, you follow your heart, you follow your dreams. But there is so much hope in knowing that God cares about our wants and desires more than we do. And there is an act of surrender that we have to do when we walk this walk with God. We walk out with an open hand and just believe that God is guiding us and doing the things that he has planned for us. And I just think of this analogy that I read online, and it's the idea of ballroom dancing. When you see two people dancing, you can't tell who is leading who, but what usually happens is the male is leading the woman and she's following and pivoting to his every move, but it's so natural and fluid that you would never be able to tell. And that's how our walk with God is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a natural current of him guiding and pushing us and doing things that might feel uncomfortable, might be really scary at first, might be things that we don't even want to do, but you can't tell because we're just arms open wide, ready to accept everything that he is guiding us along. When we are resisting, when we have just a hands-off approach, we truly won't be able to experience this relationship with God where we are literally leaning on him to guide us in every single way in our day-to-day lives. So it's really hard. It's really challenging to think about. This walk of active participation is literally an act of surrender and participation. It's surrendering it all to God while participating in every move that he's making. I am so sorry guys, I'm well aware that this shot looks completely different, and it's really just because daylight savings is terrible and my camera died and it just wasn't meant to be. But I want to pick up obviously where I just left off, and that was with my third tip that I want to give you guys, and that is just being wise with how you spend your time. It's really important to be knowledgeable about what you're giving your attention to, whether that be with the type of friends that you're with, what you're watching on TV, the kind of music that you're listening to, the type of books that you're reading. All of that makes a huge difference in who you become as a person. I really just want to quote 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 33, and it says, "Do not be misled, bad company corrupts good character." Not only can this be applied to like the friends that you hang out with, but it really can be applied to what you're watching on TV, the kind of music that you're listening to. For me, I know that I definitely feel my best when I'm listening to worship music, songs that uplift Christ and give him the glory. And this also just includes things that I'm watching on Netflix. If I'm watching shows that I know will kind of lead me down a path of thinking about things that I know I'm trying to avoid, I need to step away from it for a little bit. And you know, obviously the friends that you hang out with, if you're kind of already thinking of that friend that probably isn't the best influence on you, then maybe that's a sign from God that you need to walk away from that friendship and kind of just take a step back and reevaluate the friends that you have in your circle. You know, are they friends that are going to keep you accountable on your walk with God? Are they friends that are going to encourage you and speak life onto you? Or are they friends that are truly just there for a good time? Don't feel like you need to just shut out your friends that you have if you do feel like they aren't the best influence, or completely cut out everything cold turkey. I think you could totally do this. If you need to, don't do it all at once. Take your time and definitely just sit and think about the things that you are indulging in on a daily basis. Okay, so my last tip for you guys is just a really simple tip, but really just makes a huge difference, and it's just being intentional with how you're spending your time. My biggest thing with this is you really have to schedule your time with God like you would schedule time with a friend. You really have to dedicate that time as if you were actually going to show up on time and have the mindset that you are going there and shutting off all distractions, whether that be turning your phone on do not disturb for 15 or so minutes, to just pray or to just read your Bible. Do it. and see how you feel. You've probably heard this before, but it takes 30 days to build a habit. And really, if you spend 30 days of just being intentional with how you spend your time, whether it be spending your time with God in the morning or just dedicating time at night before you go to bed, it will make a huge difference on your walk with God. It will make a difference on how you communicate with God. All of these things are really easy to apply to your life. It just takes time, and it really just takes building that habit in order to do so. I really do believe there's a reason why you clicked on this video, and I feel like if you did, you are totally interested in deepening your walk with God. You're interested in learning how to grow it, and my biggest tip is just taking small steps and allowing God to guide you on that journey. I promise you, if you take that first step, God will literally take things out of your heart and turn those things that you once desired into just a love for Him. I feel like it would be a disservice to have a YouTube channel and not share the thing that has made the biggest impact on my life, and that's God Himself. So I really hope that this video encouraged you. I hope that you got some tips out of it. If you did, definitely let me know in the comments below, and definitely share some tips that you have as well. I'd love to hear from you guys. I hope you guys have a great one, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.